Hi, so somebody just commented again that my boxing or my heavy bag content is all around worthless and I should just go to a boxing gym. And I would just like to respond to this person individually and say that like you're really really stupid. I don't know what to tell you. This stuff that I'm teaching is the avenue to having perfect technique emerge out of you. So maybe you're already perfect and that's why this seems worthless to you, because you've had it, you're just a natural at it, and so you don't know what makes you good. You're just like a big dumb animal and you're like awesome at it. Or you're not any good at it, you're working really hard at it, and you're just not any good at it, and you're really identified with your hard work or with your method, and you just can't face that you suck, so you project that onto me. Like whatever you're doing in the gym is absolutely worthless and you can't face that, so you come in here and you project that idea onto me so you don't have to deal with it. But I'm here to tell you the truth. Like, A, you're an idiot, and then B, if you actually want to get good at what you're doing, like, listen up, because this method, if you get it, you can go back to doing whatever else you want. This is just one idea. It's just one technique. You figure it out, you'll be changed forever for the better. I know that's not the case with whatever you're doing right now, or you wouldn't be here. You know, obviously, if you're here in my psychic space, me as like a punching technique healer, you wouldn't have showed. You know, it's like the student, the master appears when the student's ready, and you, my friend, are ready. So to have perfect punching, you have to let your true nature take care of everything. So you just want to feel that true nature, right? Be like Bruce Lee, be like water. So you want to try and punch and see what happens when I go like this. Okay, I feel like I'm crashing. I've come off balance. So am I doing that on purpose? Right, I can kind of notice when I punch and I realize, oh man, I'm coming off balance. So if I come off balance into the person, that hits really hard without any effort. So I can sit here and find where's my balance, and then, oh yeah, I'm gonna punch and I'm on balance. Boom, 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 punching on balance. Yes, balance, balance, boom, 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 I'm on balance. Boom, boom, punch really hard on balance. Boom, boom, yeah, boom, boom, boom. Like sprawl, nothing. I'm on balance, right? But if you notice that to move is to be off balance. So if you off balance yourself in a forward direction, you don't even have to worry about hitting them. Just hit them while you're falling, and you'll find, boom, because you're so fluidic, if you go forward and you do a cycle, if you move forward and you rotate, you're gonna crash. So you can figure out, oh, here's my rotation, right? My on balance rotation. This is my standing wave stuff. And then when I move forward, if I move forward and rotate, it's gonna crash. So I can take care of that. If I move forward and I rotate and I stay under that and ride it, I can move forward, rotate, and stay centered. And then I'm not gonna try and throw crazy bombs, but I'm definitely not having to try to hit hard anymore. And that gives me some time to think about other stuff. I can't be thinking about, like, am I able to deal damage? It just has to come out, right? And so it comes out from recognizing and operating the body as a fluidic system. So you're wanting waves to crash on them, and so that just once you figure out that, you're not having to worry about rotation, moving forward and off balancing yourself. You just crash. Like if you go somewhere, you crash. It's what's happening anyway. You just don't want to have to be thinking about it crashing. And so the only way that I know, because otherwise punching mechanics is just too much. You're like having to like think about elbows in or whatever. There's so many things. That crashing, so forward momentum, so moving forward plus a roll causes a crash, just like an ocean wave. It's moving forward, and then if there's a roll, you get a crash. Or if the roll is interrupted. So really, you're doing a roll, you're moving forward and doing a roll, interrupting the roll by sticking the hand out. And that causes a crash. And so at first, that might make you off balanced as you figure out how to crash. But if you get it crashing reliably, you can sneak in and stay under yourself. And still be hitting that crash is required to do any amount of damage. But on somebody who's all like adrenaline hyped up, you could hit them all day long for the most part. And unless you get lucky, it's just going to be like waves pummeling. You know, eventually you'll get tired. But the fantasy of like the death punch, it's there. It's definitely there. But if the person's like, you have to catch them where their attention's a little bit scattered to have their mind broken. Otherwise, it doesn't like slam their. No matter what, it's like it's very hard to slam a person's mind into their own body hard enough to knock them out unless they're distracted. So part of hitting hard isn't necessarily this like, oh man, I'm like getting the biggest thing. It's like you have to come up with a really good distraction so when it hits, you can like slam their like something bad. So part of a big distraction is just being a big intimidating figure. Like, oh, I look really strong. That's going to distract most people. Or, you know, be really good at feints. Or cause like some kind of pain, taunting, emotional pain, mental torment, anxiety. You know, you cause something like that in the person so that they're distracted, and then anything with any amount of snap on it will it'll screw up the system enough that they'll black out. That's what makes body shots or not work, is like the in general the abdominal wall prevents there's not enough play to like get a snap, so it just kind of like pounds in and can't snap at the end. Whereas the head, when you hit it, the head starts to like go back and gives enough room for the fist to like really like snap before the engagement is like over. So if the head moves away too fast, it doesn't get the snap. Or if you go into hits, like if you just really go into them, in general, it prevents a snap. There has to be a certain amount of fear of a withdrawing, just long enough so that it like is able to have that momentum wave crash. Because if you go into a hit, it's like the wave might be coming, but if you're not right at the place where it crashes, it just goes right by you. So by going into a hit, like paradoxically, like if you see a punch coming and actually go towards it, there's no way that it's going to be something crazy. It's just going to end up shoving you. And so once you realize that, like the different, like for punching power, you're dealing with wave mechanics, and so there's a power generation phase, which is generating the wave, and then there's a rotational phase, which initiates the crash. So there has to be a momentum coming towards you and rotation that causes the wave to start to crash. So if you know that that's the case, for like that's how you have to generate power, you can just look for the crash and not really worry about the power generation. And that's just playing with them at your engagement distance. That's what a teacher would say. Your preferred engagement distance is where your waves naturally crash. So you're just doing that, and that's the game, and that's a lot easier than. And then if they're doing it, they want to keep you at your engagement distance. If you know that they're trying to crash waves on you, you can either get if you move into the movement sometimes, which is like whatever, jamming, blocking, just eating the thing, you can prevent the waves from crashing on you. But when you're doing that, you're basically swimming in their aggression, and so that can be exhausting if you're not used to the activity. And then if you get exhausted, they can put you in the crashing punishment zone area. See, for like something like this, you have the forward momentum, and then a little crash. Just trying to send a ripple in, and I think the guys that are really good at this will be like, wait until they hit, and there's enough momentum to kind of push them back a little bit and make room for the snap, which sends that pulse of energy through the body water, and that's what discombobulates or knocks you out. Is if you get like a nasty fluidic wave to crash in your body, like in the head or in the organ thing, that's basically a knockout, because it causes too much turbulence in it. It's either excruciating or blackout, or it's that pop. If you cause the wave to crash in the body, it's messing with all of the psychology, the neural impulses, like everything. Like if you get like a fractal fluidic disturbance in somebody's body water, it's like punching a hole in their mind. And so you black out into the water. It causes a big enough like ripple in the water that it makes the whole pattern decohere. Like the whole nervous system for a moment is like gone. The same way that if you throw a rock into a pond, the disturbances make it impossible to see the pond, and that's basically the same thing that people describe like unenlightenment of as like stupidity. Like the guy that I made this video response to, there's so much disturbance in the water that they can't see the truth of their own nature, and then when somebody tells them the truth of their nature, they are so infatuated with like the noise that they're making that I don't know. So to knock somebody out, you're causing that same amount of ripple. The same thing that all their agitation and stupidity and confusion is causing in their own mind. If you get something to snap, it causes a big splash, and then they have to wait for the mind to settle. So you can black out anywhere from a couple of seconds to a couple of minutes as the pattern of who they are like reestablishes itself in the surface of their body water. And people that have this feel for punching, or that's a naturally good puncher. They know to target. There's this sweet spot of effort, of power, that and like aiming. You're trying to aim into the person, you know. But, you know, ultimately, I'm not. These are just tricks for consciousness studies. I haven't been in a boxing gym or a martial arts studio for well over a decade, I think, at this point. So yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about in that regard, but I know it's not worthless. I know that.